Hello everybody and welcome back to my stream. So what we're doing today, as you probably could tell from the title, we're just going to be working on expanding the trading hall. We're not going to be putting in villagers or anything just yet. I just kind of want to expand that area so that way I know where to put the wall up around and also just kind of mark out where I'm going to be adding more. And right now I have right now I have like 15, 15, and 15. So like each one is 15 long. And I'm just going to redo that. I'm just going to make it 15 again, like all three 15. Like 15, 15, 15. Again, but we're going to put it back a ways. So right now I'm trying to figure out where exactly 15 back would be. I haven't quite determined that just yet, but I'm trying to at least get some of this expanded over here so that way I can start putting down some more of the terracotta. Speaking of which, I have 2 on me. But that way I can get the terracotta down and... whoops. There we go. And start getting the glass down so that way I can start marking it out. I want to put it back just a little ways from here, so it's not going to be exactly 15 back. It's probably going to be more like 20, 25 back. Actually, I'm probably going to take this about 25 beyond the last block here, which is on Z48. Z4048. So I'm probably going to just go back about 25. Okay, well that's more than 25. That works. Okay, that should be actually far enough back for more, but I'm going to... Actually, no, I'll take that back, because it's going to be 30. At least 30. But probably more like 34 or 35 long for this. It's going to be 32. 34. It's going to be 34 long. So, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back 40, 45. That's it. About 40 or 45, I'm going to... Oops. I'm going to go back about 40 or 45, and from the 40, 48, I'm going to go back about 40 to 45, and I'm going to call that far enough back until I can measure it out. But, in the meantime, I am trying to get some more gray terracotta. I have some... Or rather, I have some plain terracotta right now. So what I need to do is get some flowers for the light gray dye. There's not going to be any right here, I don't think. And I don't really have a home set anywhere there are the wildflowers I need. So I'm just going to do random CP until I can find... so that I can get some of those flowers. They actually grow quite wild in this area. Okay, that freaked me out just a little bit. Really just any flower. There's only one flower, only one white flower that actually makes white dye. So pretty much any flower that's white will work. It'd be really helpful if there were a flower forest nearby, but it doesn't look like there is. Birch forest doesn't usually have very many white flowers in it. I think the birch forest is actually where I would normally find the flowers that make the white dye. They don't usually have other flowers. Tall birch forest. Dark oak forest. I better not find another woodland mansion. Jungle definitely doesn't have what I'm looking for. I don't think the sparse jungle does either. No, I don't see any white flowers. Ah, the plains. These. Of course, another alternative that I could do is just mix some white and, well, actually, technically what I could do is mix gray dye and add white dye to it. So like 2 white dye and 1 black dye for light gray. But I like picking flowers. And there's nothing wrong with picking flowers. That's what they're for. There's not much by way of plains here. So not many white flowers, but that's okay. We can always just fly around and find some more. Hope everyone's weekend has been going pretty well. Mine's actually been going pretty great compared to usual. I know I didn't stream yesterday, and I do apologize for that. I actually did not get home until well past the time I would normally stream. And I didn't want to start streaming at 8, 9 o'clock. So I did skip stream, and I know I didn't tweet or anything. And I apologize about I apologize for that. But yeah, I got home really late for streaming, so I couldn't. Oh, I spy a mine shaft. But yeah, I got home really late last night. It wasn't a time where I got home early enough that I could stream. I actually got home a bit too late to do that, so I did skip stream without telling anybody. Sorry. But you know what? I think I'm going to set a temporary home here. Temp 3, so it's going to be temp 4. Okay. Well, I don't think there's any flowers around here. So, what I was doing yesterday, I actually went to someone's wedding yesterday. It's a very odd to have, in my opinion, it is odd to have a wedding in the middle of winter. But, I mean, there's nothing that says you can't, I guess. But, in any case, it was actually a very beautiful wedding. The weather was actually really nice for a wedding. So I can't really complain too much about it being in the winter time. Because all things considered, it worked out. It worked out really well. I think I have some more. Yeah. So yeah, I didn't get home early enough I could stream last night. But oh my. Well, they were in bad spots, so I just put them out of their misery. They were already uh in a yeah, they were already being tortured. Anyway, like I was saying, got home late last night. I couldn't stream. So, I was on the fence when I was starting stream today. I was like on the fence. I know I said Minecraft today, but I also said Slime Rancher last night. I didn't stream last night. Should I stream Slime Rancher today? Should I not? I ended up, as you can see, streaming Minecraft, but next time I will actually post a poll to see. I don't know, I kind of like streaming in the afternoon like this. This is a good time of day for me. This is a really good time of day. I prefer streaming in the afternoon. It's just, I do things on the weekend with my friends, and I get plans, and it's usually on Saturdays, and Saturdays and Sundays are the only days of the week I can stream early like this. Or I can stream this early. And it kind of throws me off when on a Saturday I have to stream later in the day. It kind of throws me off. So but you know, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. I need to start streaming during the week though. That's an idea that I've been messing around with for a little while, is trying to stream during the week. I technically could do it, I suppose, because my busy time of the time of year that I'm the busiest is really the end of the year. So I'm at a point now where I actually can stream during the week. So I'm planning on trying to do that more. Holy, that's a lot of apples. Yeah, I can stream. I'm almost to a point now where I can stream another day during the week. So look forward to maybe another a midweek stream or two for me. How are there so many potatoes and apples? Just, man. But yeah, look forward to another midweek stream from me. So probably not this week. It's probably not going to be this week. It's probably going to be in a couple of weeks I start streaming midweek. So just kind of look forward to that too. Oh, that's a horse. I was wondering what that was. a feather falling. That was a spot of lag. Okay, that was kind of weird. Why is the server lagging suddenly? I don't get it. I don't really get it, but okay. Okay, so I don't know. I hope the stream isn't lagging, but this server definitely is. This is kind of weird. Almost as weird as these two biomes right next to each other. Oh, I love the pandas. That's where my mind goes every time I see bamboo. Pandas, pandas, pandas. So, I've noticed that there's more of the blue cornflowers in the meadows than in the plains. I don't know if that's just a coincidence or if it's actually that there's more likely to spawn. I don't know which it is. But I find it kind of interesting. Okay, I think that might be enough flowers for now. Let's see how much dye we got. 20 and 16. Is that enough to make all of these? Yep. Okay. So let's go home and cook up some of this. So what was I gonna say? I keep trying. Okay. Put it in the right spot. Okay. There we go. There we go. All right. Okay, so I need to try to relearn Minecraft controls because at the moment I keep trying to use the controls for Tower of Fantasy. Okay. Let me try to regroup a bit here. Tower of Fantasy is very different from Minecraft. Yes, by the way, I do play Tower of Fantasy. I play Tower of Fantasy and Um, I play Tower of Fantasy, and all of my gameplay has been offline. Like, well, let's say offline. It's been my personal playthrough of it. So I don't have any so I don't have like I've almost completed the storyline for Tower of Fantasy. So if I played it on stream, I would actually need to start over. And like I said, I've almost completed it. I have a lot of hours in the game. I've almost completed all 5 chapters of the main story. I've completed some of the story for Vera, the new area. I've completed some of that. I did not intend to play Vera before finishing Asperia, but I did. Now, I'm still a bit upset about how the game did that. This is my only complaint so far about Tower of Fantasy. I have like two complaints, I guess. I have 2 complaints. One of them is that it basically forced me to do the Vera storyline before completing Asperia. Okay, so I logged onto Tower of Fantasy. I did not want to skip the story. I didn't even know they had added a new area at this time. So I didn't know they had added a new area. So I just accepted the mission. It didn't tell me that it was skipping anything. It didn't warn me it was skipping anything. It just kind of was. It just told me to go to Vera, so I went to Vera. And it then proceeded to give me the entire storyline for what happens in Asperia, how it ends, what happens. Wait, did I need carrots or potatoes? I don't remember. But it gave me the entire storyline for it. And it told me everything that happens. And then it took me to Vera, where I saw Shirley for the first time. And I'm just like, excuse me, how do we get from point A to point B here? And that's how that happened. So my complaint was that I wasn't given a clear, if it was something that I had to hit, like something that, like if it was my fault that it skipped, which it probably was, let's face it. So if it was my fault that it skipped, nobody told it wasn't very clear that it was going to skip if I made a choice. So so my only complaint there is that it needs to have clear direction. The next thing that I have a complaint about as far as Tower of Fantasy goes is that the story is a little bit cliched. Like, they do very well. Like, the story is very well done. It's very well done. I have no complaints about the characters or anything. The story's a bit cliched, but it's okay. It's fine. Because it has good development, I think. But when it comes to... the the voice lines and stuff. There's a lot of voice lines that are missing. There's so the story immersion. It's not as sorry. I'm just trying to straighten my stuff out. So the story immersion kind of gets broken when there's no voice lines. There's no voice lines or anything, and you're expecting it, but then there's nothing. It's just silence. But then there's suddenly voice lines again. It's kind of it kind of breaks that immersion a bit. So let's see. Let's put the pumpkins here. Man, I can really offload some pumpkins. Also, I noticed that there were some VTuber auditions open. Some places. I know that I'm not going to apply for a VTuber or to be a VTuber anytime soon. But if some of you want to, there's some open, just in case you didn't know. I mean, you probably do know. What am I saying? You probably know better than I do. I apologize, guys. I am actually quite tired. Because like I said, it was late when I got home. I had stuff to do. So I am actually pretty tired. So I apologize if I sound like I'm talking out of my head. I guess we're just gonna watch the sunset. There we go. Watch the sunset. Ah, so pretty. Sleep. Well, hi there, Miss Hugs. I didn't even see you there. Hope things have been going well for you. Oh, yes, I would love a hug. Things have been going well for me, actually. Thank you. Thank you for the hug. Things have been going well. How about you? Well, that sounds like fun. Well, I didn't really have much going on over the holidays or anything. Um, the main thing that I had going on was I had time off. I could play games. I have gotten way too addicted to Tower of Fantasy, and I've gotten way too addicted to Tower of Fantasy. And to top it off, one of my friends got married, so I had a wedding over the weekend too. So that's part of why I'm a little tired today. But I am very proud of my friend. Man, I need to actually take these back and do something with them so I have space. Oh, no, I actually just started. I've only been live for about 30 minutes, so I'm not ending just yet. But I may not go full 2 hours, it just kind of depends. And I'd be glad to have you. So what I'm doing today, I said when I started streaming, but what I'm doing today is I'm just expanding my Minecraft base. So this trading hall that I have here, I'm just going to put another one identical to it back here. So I'm trying to clear out a space, but at the same time just expand the flooring too. So I want as much as non-spawnable as possible. I don't like dealing with mobs. Oh, but I did redo our spawn area. I did that on Friday's stream. And I'm starting on a shops area. So, that part is still very much in the works. I probably won't get around to completing that this week. I may actually finish the shopping area, the building part of it, on stream next weekend. Well, I hope you have fun this stream to make up for the ones you missed. I'm going to be posting my streams on YouTube. They're actually on YouTube. I just haven't privated them yet. But yeah. So the blocks that I'm putting down right now, this is glazed terracotta. All the different terracottas actually have different patterns on them once they've been glazed. Oops, missed that. And depending on, but they're directional. So depending on where you place them at, the pattern is a little bit different. The only things I've really streamed recently is Minecraft and Slime Rancher. I would love to stream The Sims, but The Sims doesn't want me to stream it. Every time I have tried to stream The Sims, every possible way that I could figure how to do it, all I ever managed to stream was a black screen. Or at least for the software I'm using now. I did have some software which I may actually go back to just to stream The Sims. Because I'm using Streamlabs, and then there's OBS Studio, which is very similar to Streamlabs. That OBS actually allowed me to stream The Sims. Streamlabs doesn't for some reason. I may at some point stream. I've been looking at some other games. One game that I may actually stream at some point is Unpacking. Another one is, I don't know if you know what Unpacking is, but another one that I might stream at some point. I don't know if you've ever heard of Ark, the one with the dinosaurs. I had somebody enthusiastically telling me about it earlier today. I may actually look into it. If I like it, I may actually stream it. There's some other games, though, that I would like to stream, but I just haven't gotten them or looked into them or anything yet. Well, I look forward to having you. I did actually download a game called Need for Speed Most Wanted. The remake version, or the remake of the original version. I played some of it. I probably won't stream it. Well, I haven't decided yet if I am or not. That one, I don't know what it is about the remake, but there's something about it that the controls are very difficult for me. I actually grew up on Need for Speed, so it'd be kind of like going back to my roots if I played that. It's kind of where I got my my username from, SlimeMudbug. Is part of where I got that name from. I used to race under the moniker Sly Fox. I also raced for a little while under the moniker. Oh, well, hi. That's weird. I just opened the portal to that. Okay. Okay, that was weird. Anyway, I used to race under Sly Fox, and I used to race under Pinky502 for a while on Need for Speed The Run. I actually held some pretty good times. I no longer have the computer, and all my save data and everything is just gone. But yeah, I used to have some pretty good times, and then I raced the original Need for Speed Most Wanted. That one, I don't think I ever raced in multiplayer on that one. I don't think my multiplayer worked for some reason. But I didn't. I actually held a really, really good time on a lot of the tracks for that one. But the remake of Need for Speed Most Wanted, I didn't. I don't really like it too much because of um the way the cars handle. Because I don't care how carefully I steer it or how careful I am with it. It's just it's just all over the road, and I can't do anything about it. But so the Sly Fox is where I got the Sly part of my name, but the Mudbug part came from a different racing game actually. Most people probably don't even know what this is, but I used to play a racing game called Cabela's 4x4 Off-Road Adventure. And that game I used to race under the moniker uh, Mudbug because on there my best tracks were actually the muddiest tracks. So, Miss Hugs, do you know who Herobrine is? Yeah, well, my dad got me started on racing games. That was his thing. He got me started on it, and I just took a real liking to them. Okay, so Herobrine Herobrine is, I guess you could call Herobrine a legend, like a myth kind of thing. You know, kind of like Bigfoot, the Yeti, that type of thing. Like there's some people that claim he's real, some people that claim he's just an error in the coding, and some people it's just like, oh, it's something that somebody made up. Like you'll find all kinds of conflicting stories, and everybody obviously believes they're right. So, like you'll find evidence that he is real, evidence that he's not. Personally, I think they're all right and wrong. What I mean by that is, I do think that at one point there were things that were happening that were kind of inexplicable in Minecraft, but I think it was due to coding errors, which they have proven that. Some of what is blamed on Herobrine was actually coding errors. So, yeah, some people were saying that they found long tunnels or things that mysteriously vanished or problems with their chests after they left and came back. There was somebody that claimed that he actually saw Herobrine. Yeah, it's a very very old Minecraft legend that actually dates back to, oh, I want to say 1. Um Not beta. No, it was after I'd gone to the alpha stages. Yeah, it's kind of like a creepy pasta. Yeah, it is kind of like a creepy pasta. Um, but yeah, that's the legend of Herobrine that um all that happened, and they could prove that it was coding errors. And I do believe that. I do believe that initially it was coding errors. I also think that at some point Minecraft may have added in something that's very similar to that, similar to Herobrine. But I don't know, and I can't prove it or anything. But I do know that I have had a haunted base more than once on more than one server. Like, I've personally experienced it. Okay, so I've had this story time I've actually told this story a couple of times. But there was a server that basically was the catalyst for this server, I should say. Because the person that started this server, I met him on this other server called Capecraft. And so back on my Capecraft days, I had a base. It was next to a big forest, or at least I could get to a really big oak forest from my base. And yeah, it can be. But there's really honestly nothing in Minecraft that's truly scary except the Warden and the Deep Dark at this point. But that's probably because most players aren't used to that, or at least most more casual players like me aren't used to it. But there's not a whole lot in Minecraft that I find creepy anymore. But this story kind of is, because it was a multiplayer server, and I know that there were some players that actually lived near my base. So it wasn't like I thought there was absolutely nobody anywhere near me, but I knew there were players that had homes and stuff near me, but none of them were online. Like, I knew who they were, none of them were online. So I was the only one online. Like, IRL, it was the middle of the night. The one person on the server that usually played pranks, she wasn't online. And she pranked me a few times when I was like down in a mine shaft or something. She pranked me a few times. But she wasn't online. So I was actually one of only 3 or 4 players that were actively playing. And I was in the forest by myself. I kept hearing footsteps. Not my footsteps. I was hearing my footsteps, but I was hearing other footsteps that weren't showing up, because you can actually put on closed caption. This is what I usually have on, subtitles. So you see the subtitles there in the bottom right corner? It shows footsteps. Those are my footsteps. If I didn't have the background music playing, you could probably hear it better. But those footsteps that it's showing are my footsteps. It'll show other footsteps if I'm near entities like a cow, sheep. See, it's showing footsteps for the cow. Llama steps, cow moos. It's showing all of that at the bottom there. So that's what I had on when I had the subtitles on when I was in the forest, because I just wanted to hear or just see if any monsters were near me. There wasn't. It was middle of the night, but there wasn't anything nearby. And I hear the sheep moving around, cows moving around, but in this one area there were no cows, no sheep, no chickens, no pigs, no monsters, nothing. I was literally by myself. But I kept hearing footsteps that moved about the same time as mine, like somebody was stalking me, and I was like, okay, some player is following me around, they shouldn't be here, I don't know what's going on. And Then I hear blocks being placed, and I can see in the subtitles blocks. I didn't see on the subtitles that anything was being placed. Because when you place a block, it shows. But it wasn't showing that anything, it didn't have that pop up at the bottom, but I could hear the blocks behind me. I turned around, and there was suddenly a pillar of blocks behind me. So it wasn't showing the subtitles. If it had been a player, it would have shown on the subtitles. But it didn't. Then, so that was the only time I really got haunted on Capecraft. Like, actually, truly, like, haunted. But then, you fast forward to... when I'm here on Exile Crafters. So, for a while, we had a bunch of people that played on the server. Then we also had a period of time where there was nobody on the server. And then we had a bunch of people come back and play again. Yeah, I was really freaked out when that happened. I was really freaked out. So, it was a period of time where we had reset for I want to say 1.17, 1.18? I forget. I think it was 1.17 because they had added in a bunch of stuff. No, it was 1.16. It's before that. Okay, never mind. We had reset. So at this point, I was the only one really playing because I forget why, but I was the only one really playing at that time. So I was running through the desert. I had found a place in the desert, and actually no, there was one other thing that happened on Capecraft that was very, very similar to this. Very, very similar. It was right around the same time that I had that pillar appear behind me. It was right around that time. I think it might have even been like a day or two before that happened. I was in that forest. There was also like a little pond area, and I would go there to grab water occasionally if I needed it for something, for a build or something. And so this one time I went there, and unlike any other time I'd ever been there, there was a big area on one side where I saw the water kind of cascading into a hole, which I'd never noticed it before. And I thought, oh, maybe I just hadn't noticed it. It's always been there. I just never noticed. So I went down into the hole. And there was this huge cave system. Huge. And it wasn't that far below the surface. Like, maybe if I dug down about 5 blocks, I would have fell into a cave. That's how close to the surface it was. So I went down, I explored it some, I ran out of torches, I ran back to my base, and while at some point in the time it took me to run to my base, find my torches, and come back, that hole was gone. Not only was the hole, but here's the freaky part, not only was the hole gone, but there was no cave system underneath that area. Like, I actually dug down. I made another huge hole there, and I could not find the cave system. The entire cave system disappeared, along with the hole in the ground. But that's very similar to something that happened here on Exile Crafters. It was my second base that I'd ever made, and I was running through the desert. And when I was running through the desert, I kept finding I never found any holes or anything. And then suddenly I'm running through the desert, and there's just this massive opening that I'd never seen before. And I have no idea where this came from. Like I said, I'd never seen this hole before. But here it was, just this big hole in the ground. Yeah, it is. And I go down to just see to just see if it leads anywhere or anything. Like maybe somebody had been online while I was gone and made a home, so I was just going to go check it out. So I go look, and I'm like, I don't have enough torches to explore the area. I need to go make some. So I go back and get my stuff together, and my base is like from about here to that tree over there. That tree right there. From the hole. Like this is, like the hole is here. My base is right over there. So I grab the stuff. I make some torches. I come back over. But the hole is just gone. It's not even there anymore. And I can't, and I dug around, I couldn't find the cave system either. Well, the Cape Craft one was probably a year and a half ago. Exile Crafters probably a year ago. But I mean, I do see other, like I'm usually the only one online, but I still see other players with no name tags on top. With no name tags. That's how you can tell the player from an NPC is there's a name tag above their head. That goes for anything. That goes for most RPG games. I guess so. But I'll see like other players. Like one time there was a player that was having fun going up and down a water column that I had. There was no name tag. There was nobody online that was at my base. Like I knew, like I could tell where everybody was. None of them were at my base, but there was a player having fun going up and down my water thing, water chute. Come back here. Like I said, I think Herobrine is in the coding. I think, like to an extent, like not what people want to call Herobrine, but yeah, I think there's something in the coding that nobody's noticed. I think it's just Minecraft people trying to mess with players, which would make sense, actually. Yeah, it is fun. It is fun to think about. I don't really have any other, like there are a couple of legends on the server, or a couple of stories on the server. This is more like server lore. Like usually instead of saying it was Herobrine, there's some of us that have been here since day one that'll joke and say, "Oh, it's not Herobrine, it's just Larry," because there was. Depending on who you ask, it was a murder. And some people, it was like, it was mercy. Because there was, okay, so, the very first, spawn that we had was right next to a village. The owner, he didn't have like World Guard or anything yet. He had nothing other than a system for playtime and a system that well, that was pretty much it. I think he had like World Edit and a playtime tracker, and that was all he had at the time. He didn't have World Guard or anything else. And so, one of the players, he had just walked a little ways from spawn and found a village, and he had corralled some villagers, and he was going to take them to a base that he was making. Well, before he could come back and get the villagers, the owner, he had gotten World Guard, and in the meantime, he got World Guard, and he protected a large area. And when you protect a large area, only people with certain permissions, like like a staff, or like I'm a mod technically right now, So my permissions are limited, but I can still do things in an area that's protected by World Guard. Like I can tear down buildings and other stuff. I can basically do anything inside of an area protected by World Guard. So, but other players, like normal players, they can't. And this other guy, he was a normal player. Well, because of World Guard, there was one villager that he hadn't gotten out of that little corral yet, and he was stuck. Well, this guy had named the villager Larry. I think he just named all of his villagers, and this one particular villager he named Larry. So he was trying to ask the server owner to unstuck Larry so he could come and get him. And the server owner, he misunderstood. He technically misunderstood what the guy was asking him to do. So he killed Larry. And said, okay, I put him out of his misery. So to this day, he still says that the owner killed Larry and murdered him in cold blood. By the way, these are villagers that I have in these little pods. If you don't know what a villager is, that's a villager. It's a librarian villager. Ain't he cute? So yeah, there's fun stuff like that. That's like lore on this server. Then there's Wilhelm, but that's an entirely different story. That was a polar bear. I don't even know why a bunch of kids tied a polar bear up out at in the shops area we had at the time. Tied him up. The bear somehow kept getting loose. Nobody even knows how the bear kept getting loose, but it kept getting loose and roaming around. And then somebody encountered him in the wild and killed him. And it was a big to-do about that because they did name him and he was technically a pet and everything. And it was a big thing of, was it, did the player, grief, did they know it was a pet and kill it anyway? Did they kill it on purpose? Was it an accident? Did the bear attack them? It was a whole big thing. Oops, don't want to put that in there. It was a whole big thing. It ended in somebody not getting banned that probably should have been banned, and then ending up getting banned anyway for something else. They probably should have been banned in the first place, which was my fault, technically. Yeah, it's a lot of weird stuff on Minecraft, and when you have a server full of fun people like we did at the time, it's always good. It's always good. There's a lot of people that keep saying they're going to come back, they're going to come back, they're going to come back, and then there's a lot of people that came here and were having fun and had bases and everything. And then this other server, Capecraft, reopened. Part of the reason why they'd come here was that it had closed. But when Capecraft reopened, I'll be streaming a little while longer, I think. Yeah, I'll probably stream a little while longer. Oh, well, I'm glad to tell them. Yeah, there's a lot of people that came here and was playing on the server at the time that we had played with for a long time on Capecraft. And they came here when Capecraft shut down for a while, and then the people that ran Capecraft decided to come back and reopen the server. Which, considering everything that happened about around the time that they closed, I was actually very surprised they reopened the server. It was There were a lot of people that were playing when they closed the server. There were a lot of people that were playing that became very toxic very quickly. I don't know what all happened because I wasn't playing as much at the time because I had already decided that I preferred Exile Crafters to Capecraft. But from what I understand, is actually somebody that plays on here sometimes. What happened was that he had gotten banned for something he did. I don't even remember now what it was he did or didn't do. But he did something, he got banned, and there's a bunch of people that thought the ban was wrong. That he shouldn't have been banned, that if he was going to get banned, he should have been banned either a long time ago, or they should have just banned the people that actually caused the problem, or something like that. That happened. But, in any case, he got banned, and then because he got banned, the entire server got shut down. Over this one guy. One kid, actually. It's a kid. Yeah, entire server got shut down over him. But I think the reason why he hadn't been banned was simply because there were people that let him do whatever he wanted. So he would actually break server rules constantly and take from people and all that stuff. And nobody ever reported it, even though they were kind of upset, like, oh, he did this, he did that, he did this, he did that, and then nobody ever reported him to the staff. But because he never got reported, nothing was ever done. I mean, you can't do anything if you don't know what's going on. And a lot of them were just like, oh, it's just him, it's okay. Okay. But he does play on this server from time to time, but I keep a leash on him. He knows I'm not gonna play. He hasn't done anything on the server though. And he was a kid. He's kind of grown up now, so he's not the same. Not quite. Oh shoot, I forgot the tree. I just have a floating tree. Hold on. Yeah, it was a mess. He's like I said, he's mature, he's grown up a bit. So it's not as bad. Plus, like I said, he's not going to try anything on the server. He knows that I have limits. He just needs to be thankful that he didn't work with me when I was working in fast food. That's a whole other thing. Those are fun stories too. But I need to take an e-chest and put it over there. Let me dump some stuff. Well, it in my experience, it does happen a lot here in Minecraft. I really think that there's some other games that it happens in a lot more. The main one is another survival type game called Rust. That one is just like there's no rules at all. I don't know if you've ever heard of Rust, but um, it's a fun game. It is. It's a fun game. But yeah, it's a survival type game, kind of a lot like Minecraft. But in Rust, oops, don't want to put dirt in there. But in Rust, it's like post-apocalyptic. It's like after the basically when you wake up on Rust, you wake up like on the seashore. It's not like how can I describe it? I'm tempted to just go look up the the page for it and read the description the developers gave it. But basically, Rust is a post-apocalyptic place where you try to survive the elements. You can actually upgrade your gear. You start off with some very basic things that the game gives you. You play on large open multiplayer servers. It's a very open world game like Minecraft. It's a very open world game, but you have a set map that you can play on. Servers actually get wiped. Some servers get wiped every other week. Some servers get wiped monthly. Some of them stick around for a few months. But you can build a house like it's kind of like a Fortnite mechanic. The way you build your house, you get the wood, you get the stone, you build a blueprint, and with the blueprint, you can build a house. You can build a foundation, flooring, roof, walls. Then you can separately make a door. You upgrade your gear so that instead of like, not sawdust, instead of like twigs and branches and stuff, you can put together wood. You can turn it into wood planks, upgrade it to wood planks. You can upgrade it to stone. You can upgrade your entire base to metal, but you have to find the stuff to maintain it. And you can make this thing that you can put inside your house that will maintain it while you're offline. The only catch is it continuously uses it, so you have to be online like every day or every other day, depending on how much you put into it. But because it's a very open world game, you actually have to kind of hide your place or upgrade it to like metal so that nobody can break it. Because if you have just like wood or wood plank house, people can actually use an axe and break through the door or whatever. They can steal your stuff. They can pick the lock on the door, walk right in, steal your stuff, kill you in your sleep. Then you just respawn somewhere random unless they forgot to move your sleeping bag or you hid your sleeping bag where you respawn at. But in it is kind of, I won't say encouraged, but in a way it is encouraged to steal from other people. I've never heard of Conan Exiles, but I'm going to say yes. But because there's nothing done about it, like it kind of encourages, because nothing is done about it, it encourages griefing and stuff like that, in my opinion at least. That's one game that I have thought a lot about streaming, but in order to keep any progress that I made on the game, I would have to stream it like every day or every other day, or at least be online like every single day to replenish my stuff. until the server got wiped. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, it is actually really fun. It is actually really fun. I do like playing it. I like going on like supply runs and stuff like that. You know what? I probably ought to stream it one day. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of really nice explorable places. If you can find a server where there's not many people online, you can get some really good supply drops. There's this one called, I think it's the Airfield. That's what it's called. It's been a while since I played. I'm just kind of guessing at this point. I think it's called the Airfield. That one is actually pretty fun, or pretty nice, because it has some really good drops. The only thing about Rust, though, like I said, it kind of encourages it encourages combat PvP. Another thing about Rust is that if you meet somebody in the game, don't trust them, because, and this is something that's commonly known on there. Don't trust anybody in Rust. The biggest reason to not trust anybody in Rust is because a lot of them are just going to try to kill you to steal your stuff. I used to play, I used to stream Among Us. Not like the regular Among Us, I would stream modded Among Us. I might go back to doing that once in a while, because that's fun to play. That's fun to play. I have this up here. I want to say I do, but it doesn't look like it. Maybe one day I'll also stream some Tower of Fantasy. Like I said, like I was saying a little while ago, that's one that I play offline, like, for me, like personal playthrough. I actually played that a lot. When I first started Minecraft a little while ago, for some reason, okay, something looked weird there for a second. I see now though. Okay. But when I first started up the game a little while ago to start streaming, for some reason I was trying to use the Tower of Fantasy controls instead of the Minecraft controls. Yeah, I don't. Have you ever played Tower of Fantasy or Genshin? Yeah, Genshin. Um, I tried that game and I really like the controls of it. I like the mechanics. I haven't played it in a while. I kind of like Tower of Fantasy better, but they're both good. They're both really good. Wow, that's nice. So you probably have a lot of drops that a lot of other that newer players don't have. Well, I say that. You probably have a lot of drops from things that new players can't get. Let me put it that way. Yeah, the game, I can see how it would be very, very addictive when I played it. Tower of Fantasy has been very addictive to me, and to me, they have a um, very similar mechanics, very similar type of story. I mean, obviously the story's not the same, but similar type of story. It's addictive. I think I did play Genshin a little bit. I think I got up to um level I want to say 26. I think I got up to Wanderer level 26. Yeah, my adventure rank. Wanderer level is Tower of Fantasy. I'm sorry. But yeah, adventure rank 26, I want to say. Yeah, I know. I think I okay. Now, I'm going to be honest, I don't remember the names of the places in uh Genshin, but I think it was Mondstadt, which is the first starting area, and then Leeway. I think is that how you say it, Leeway? That area, and then I had started unlocking Sumeru, because that's how recent that was that I played it. I remember I started on the Chasm, and that was by the time that I stopped playing Genshin. I might go back to it eventually. Like after I complete Tower of Fantasy, I may go back to it. I don't even remember what characters I had. I didn't have. Yeah, I know. That's what I've been noticing because they've really been adding on to it. I really got stuck on There was one area, there was one mission or something, I think it was a mission, that I got stuck on. And I got frustrated with it. But I think that was how you actually expanded the area. I'm not sure. Because I know that the Electro Island, you need something to get to it. Because it's like an island or something. I think I might have gotten stuck there. I don't really remember. I don't know that there was something I had gotten stuck on. And it was something that I needed to do for, like, the main story part. I just don't remember what it was. But I remember that when I was unlocking... Yeah, I didn't have any problem ranking up because I like to 100% complete areas as I go. So that wasn't really an issue. I had almost 100% completed a lot of Mondstadt. And I was well on my way to getting Leeway completed as well. But there was something I had gotten stuck on. And I don't remember what it was. And because I had gotten stuck, I wasn't really leveling up either. Because I was stuck. But like I said, leveling up for me isn't all that hard. Because like I said, I like to 100% complete areas. And doing that really gets your rank up. Oh. Alrighty then. But, I remember I had actually gotten to the chasm. I never went down into the chasm. I never made it to the bottom. But I had... In fact, I didn't even know that it existed. Like, I had been over... I thought I had been over in that area where the chasm is about 30 times. Doing missions and stuff over there. But I had never seen the chasm. And then I got to Leeway and I realized that there was a big part of Leeway that looked like it hadn't been unlocked. And when I unlocked it, it showed that it was Mondstadt. Or when I finally got to the I keep trying to call things in Genshin by what is called in Tower of Fantasy, and I know it's not right. Oh, they did add it? Okay, that must have been what happened then, because I had been over in that area so much, and I just suddenly noticed that there was a large area that hadn't been unlocked that I had never noticed. And when I got there, it was still the waypoint for Mondstadt. I was shocked because I had thought I had nearly completed Mondstadt. And I was just now noticing it. So that must have been what happened. I just didn't notice that it had been updated. So in Tower of Fantasy, they literally just added a whole new part of the storyline. Which they made it so that on Tower of Fantasy you can access this whole new storyline area because it comes with the whole town. It's actually very beautiful. So it's a very cyberpunk looking little town. City, I mean. But they added this whole area in an update with its own storyline and everything. The one thing that I noticed when I was playing Tower Fantasy a little while ago was that they don't have a cold mechanic. Like in Genshin Impact, when you go to the Dragon Spine area, you can literally die of cold. But in the area that I just got to on Tower Fantasy, there is no cold effect. So like the NPC characters, they are bundled up. There's this guy wearing this huge parka, and everybody else is like in complete winter gear. And here I am, my character, what she's wearing is she's wearing like a coat and shorts. And the character I'm playing as, like the Simulacra, which is in Tower Fantasy, the Simulacra is like it's like a hologram around your character, so it's still your character, but what you're seeing is the other one. It's like playing another character in Genshin, except you're still the main character. You're just hiding that you're the main character under a hologram. Yeah. I mean, they still have like special abilities that you can activate and stuff. I haven't leveled up that high yet. I think I need to complete the story though. But the cold area and the character that I have is Simulacra, even if I was actually playing as this character, okay, she is still in like shorts, short sleeve shirt, and they're not cold, they're not shivering, they're not breathing out smoke, and I'm just like, okay. Like, there's no cold effect. And I'm like, how? This makes no sense. At least Genshin makes sense. One of these days I'm going to remember that I'm standing on top of a hole. I think I only ever unlocked one waypoint in Dragon Spine area. I know for a fact I didn't really explore the area. I didn't have any characters that could last. I did figure out how to combat the cold a little bit. I did figure that out. But I never really explored Dragon Spine. Yeah, I mean, every game is going to have something about it that you would do different or that you wish was different. Or would be better if it were different. I think, anyway. Because there's no perfect storyteller. There's no perfect writer. There's no perfect developer. There's no perfect game. Like in Minecraft, there's a lot of things that I would do different or I would make differently. Can I just express one more time, like I express nearly every single time I ever talk about squids? Can I just say that squids in this game are the creepiest things I've ever seen in my life? I've said it once and I've said it 1,000 times, but it still holds true. The squids in this game are the creepiest things I've ever seen in my entire life. Why did they ever design them to look that way? I don't get it. Yeah, I might go back to Genshin. I haven't played it in I don't know how long. But I really did enjoy the game when I played it. I like the RPG. Um, I like the RPG games like that. I like, I especially like the MMO games, which Tower Fantasy is an MMO. You actually can see certain areas. You can actually see other players that are in the world with you. Like the new area that they added, there's several places there where you can see other players. The one that everybody wants to play and talk about is the nightclub. Yes, the nightclub. The nightclub. They all want to talk about the nightclub. Oh, well, thank you. I might take you up on that. If I play Genshin, I will definitely take you up on that, actually. Let me rephrase that. For a second, I thought I saw a villager at one of those windows. Okay. But I like the MMO part of Tower Fantasy. Because like I said, there's certain areas you can go that you can see other players running around, walking around. There's also vehicles that you can drive around in Tower in that game. And that's one thing that I like that I think, or that I just kind of felt like was missing from Genshin, because like other players could join your world, but you didn't just see players milling around. I kind of like that feel. Kind of like that. Well, I hope you have a good day, Miss Hugs. And it was fun chatting with you too, as always. Sure, I love a hug. Bye bye. I'm glad you had fun. Yeah, if I had to say there was one thing that I really liked about Tower of Fantasy, is that you can see other players. Oh, I guess Groundbreaker decided he didn't really like breaking ground with his face. But there's one thing I can say that I really like about Tower Fantasy is that you can see other players roaming around. You don't have to let them join your world because it's technically a multiplayer world, but there's really nothing for other players to grief, so you don't have to worry about that. And I really like that game mechanic because I am a fan of multiplayer games. The only real thing that I have the only real thing I have against multiplayer games is the fact that people do tend to come break your stuff, steal from you, or there's a possibility for it. Not everybody does, which is a good thing. And in Minecraft, at least on this server, if that ever does happen, I have ways that I can fix it, I can undo it. I have the power to ban those players so that they don't have to come back and bother me or anybody else in the server, or so they won't do it. So, that being the case, I like this server. I like multiplayer servers. Or public servers, rather. But I am about to head on off. I'm just going to get a little more terracotta and just go and try to make some gray dye real quick to try to dye these light gray. Mushroom. Let's get a couple of stacks of that. Let's get a couple of stacks of ink sacks. Oh lord, I didn't realize I had so many of them. And I know I could do this just hitting E, but there we go. There we go. Let's put that down. Alright, so let's put this on to glaze. Oops, didn't want to do that. And I probably ought to go and get some more blaze rods. Actually, let's not come here. this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a half. Same for there. There we go. Set it and forget it. Almost. Okay, need to sleep. But thank you guys so much for joining my stream. Let me back up a little closer. Thank you guys so much for joining my stream today. I hope you guys had fun watching it, listening to commentary about Genshin and Tower of Fantasy. Didn't plan on talking about those games, but I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you guys will join me next weekend. So next weekend, it looks like I'm going to be back on my normal schedule of Friday evening, Saturday afternoon, and Sunday afternoon. Unless something changes, but I don't anticipate that. So next weekend, it looks like Friday at my regular time of about 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. I will be back. I'll be playing some more Minecraft, most likely. I'll probably be finishing up the shops area. I'll probably work some more on my base too once I build that up a bit. And then when I stream on Saturday, I will likely be streaming Slime Rancher that day. I think Saturday is just a good day for Slime Rancher. What in the world is above my head? Okay, it's just looking very weird through there. Anyway, so it looks like it's going to be 3:30 Eastern Standard Time, or 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, rather, for my stream on Saturday afternoon with Slime Rancher, and then on Sunday, 3:30 Eastern Standard Time, probably be back in Minecraft, though I may stream something different that day. I'm not sure yet. But for now, I'm just going to say Minecraft. So until next weekend, I hope you guys have an awesome day. I hope things go well for you this week, and I look forward to seeing you guys next weekend. Bye bye.